That's
Correct.
just like that's their job.
She's an appointee, so she's not a civil servant.
Wow.
So she is being trashed, and I'm looking at her picture. She looks like one of the 55%ers. And she looks like exactly somebody that'll call the police on one of y'all for walking down the street. So, we should be keeping an eye on stuff like that. You know, he sort of hinted that he's not going to leave, which the Biden campaign had a lovely response where they said the U.S. military is more than capable of removing trespassers from the White House, if any remain on January 20th, past 12 p.m. So I'm all about it. Drag him out kicking and screaming and live stream it. So there are some things to keep an eye on, but I'm happy about the steps that Biden and his team are making. Their first major thing was announcing a COVID task force led by actual scientists and doctors. Can y'all believe it?
What?
Yes. He's already, starting to announce some things. His transition website is up and running, buildbackbetter.com, if you were interested. So all the things that we would expect from someone who has the depth of experience that he has, excellent people are being put into place. So it's just a matter of how much he's going to be hamstrung by these outgoing idiots. And then the big question is what's going to happen in the Senate, which I think we'll probably talk about in a minute.
Gotcha.
I got to say about this COVID task force, I think he's just going to need it to be able to clean out the White House from all these COVID infected. Like, folks, your boy just got the COVID, right?
Ben Carson. Yeah,
Ben Carson.
He got the Rona.
He got the Rona, fooling with them. And it's like, people of color, we don't fare well with the Rona for various reasons. Inequalities baked into the system, healthcare. We just don't fare well. And
wait a minute. Okay.
What happened to Herman Cain?
Let me check. I'm checking in my bag to see if I have any fucks to give about Ben Carson getting the Rona.
Look deep now. Look deep. Empty it out.
It doesn't. They don't appear to be here.
You ain't got none, T-Bag.
I don't have none. I don't care about him, his wife. I don't care.
What did that e-card say? Be like, behold, the field in which I growest my fucks.
It is
Cast
barren.
thine eyes upon it, and thou shalt see that it is barren. This is a doctor, by the way. Dr. Ben Carson.
Yes. Neurosurgeon. One of the top neurosurgeons in the country.
And I used to admire him, but I really think he's an idiot savant. He don't know nothing about nothing else.
T-Patty, Ben Carson in the 90s was gold. He was gold.
That's because he didn't talk that much. Do you remember him giving any speeches or anything?
No, he had a book, Gifted Hands. Mm-hmm. Talent neurosurgeon. Don't know what happened.
But not a gifted tongue. Did nothing happen. He hates himself and he hates us.
Look, they've been showing the videos of them putting up the inauguration scaffolding, like for cameras.
Really?
The cameras and the camera banks and all that stuff.
Oh, well, let me go look. I've been traveling today, so I haven't been online. So let me check that out. That'll make me happy.
Yeah, they've been scoping that out pretty much like since Wednesday, Thursday-ish, when the Biden campaign pretty much saw the handwriting on the wall and, certain election officials or observers was letting them know that, look, these mail-in ballots is coming in and this look like it's going your way. So this is what adults do. They see what's coming beforehand and they go ahead and set it up. So they got the scaffolding locations all mapped out. They're putting some of the scaffolding up for some of the cameras that'll be showing the inauguration of the new administration. So, I mean, it's a sad situation. And I have no sympathy for Cheeto 45, but let me talk some real adult talk here, right? Now, it's sad.
Wait a minute. Where are you going with this?
It is sad as an adult when you do not have anyone that you could seek S-E-E-K, seek counsel in, right? And I'm not just talking about an attorney. I'm talking about someone, for example, if you have an idea, T-Petty, and you might bounce it off me or Drees or vice versa, as far as the three of us are concerned, and we'll throw producer E in that mix as well. But to absolutely, positively have no one that you could seek counsel in, and then you've amassed this great staff, and at least you'd have one person that would quote unquote keep it real, and there is nobody, no adult, no one person in that administration that can say, bruh, it's time to go. You lost, man up, concession or no concession, but you got to go. We got to get out of here. The new
But look, I
administration
would
is
add
coming.
to that the entire party. In an entire party that will say that. It ain't nobody said that from their party yet.
They're
Four
all
GOP
cowards.
senators, that's it. But
Who?
four. There have been four that have come out.
Mitt
I can't
Romney,
name
the
them.
ones, Floyd Flake, the ones that's already outside that nonsense. Those are the only ones that said it.
Those statements were weak as water. They're all trash. And any talks about reaching across the aisle and working with him, y'all ever notice that when Republicans win, is no talk about how they need to reach across the aisle and work with Democrats and compromise and moderate and come more to the center?
None.
When
They want to
Democrats
steamroll.
say it is always, don't move too far to the left. You got to work with other people. Have sympathy for how they might be feeling. You know what? Fuck your feelings. I don't care about you. If it was me, I would grind all of y'all until the dust, until there was nothing left.
And I thought Mitch McTurtle was going to get on board and, get on the side saying, look, he needs to concede,
Why would
hold
you
9
think
yards
that?
and move forward. Because they're as much as he's seen, I mean, this is not his first rodeo. And based upon the evidence of those votes that are there, irrespective as to how it is, there's no road to 270. It's like at some point you got to call uncle. And
No,
as
no.
old,
Wait.
and as old as he is, he should be the person that should lead. Be like, you know what? Concession, game over, the whole 9 yards, and be leader.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why they ain't saying nothing. The reason why they ain't saying nothing, because Trump already said, y'all better stand by me. I don't care what, or it's gonna be hell to pay later on. You know what? They still want the Trump supporters.
Benny King is dead. We ain't gonna stand by him.
Nope.
This ain't Morgan Freeman and Joe Clark and all that. Ain't nobody standing by him.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Because they know he's gonna go out. He's gonna stop. He's still gonna have this like cult of Trump supporters behind him that can sway races. That can
70 million people voted for
70
him.
million. That's what it is.
Trump was defeated, but his brand of politics, quote unquote, was not. It is alive and well. And they are nothing that they have engaged in since Trump got on the scene should have anybody thinking that they care anything about tradition, respect,
order, decency,
things that make sense. They're not engaged in any of that. All they're interested in is holding on to power. And whoever ass they got to lick to do that, whatever lie they have to tell, nothing is too low for them. Nothing. So nobody should be surprised by anything that they engage in, up to and including Trump absolutely refusing to leave, them trying to send alternate slates of electors to the Electoral College. Like, you can't put any of that past them. So just move knowing that that's who you working with on the other side.
With one of the oldest ass congressmen ever, I thought he would have at least a shred of some type of, I won't say moral decency, but some type of decency, because basically if this race in the Senate, and I'll kick it back to you, T. Petty, and Dries, you'll pick up on that as well. If this thing in the Senate goes down straight 50-50 and Kamala Harris is the deciding vote, they have absolutely nothing and their ship will be sunk. So I'll be trying to have some type of, leg to stand on should this thing in the Senate goes down. So what do you think, T. Petty, in terms of the runoffs that they're talking about and what's going to happen as far as the Senate is concerned?
Oh, this is exciting. So first, I was disappointed that with all the money that was poured into all these Senate races across the country, the Democrats weren't able to capture. I didn't have much hope about the South Carolina race with Lindsey Graham and Jamie Harrison. But I was thinking Susan Collins, at least. So Mark Kelly did win in Arizona. Fantastic. But the rest of them, they held on to their seats and then they gained seats in the House. Democrats still have a majority. So back to this Georgia race. The runoff is happening because none of the candidates got to the 50% threshold, which is automatic in Georgia. You go to a runoff. So it's Raphael Warnock versus Kelly Loeffler and John Ossoff versus, what's that fool's name? David Perdue. So listen, y'all. Listen. This runoff race is on January the 5th. This controls what's going to happen in the Senate. Are we going to give Joe Biden a Senate that will actually work with him to get some shit done in the next 2 years? So important for us to support this race. Those of us who are not in Georgia, we can contribute financially. There are postcard campaigns. You can go to, I believe it's called GeorgiaForSenate.com and find out how you can phone bank, etc. There are 20,000+ people, 17-year-olds who are going to be turning 18 before this election, and they will be able to register and vote in this runoff. And the turnout has to be like it was for the election last Tuesday. That is very difficult to do for a special election, but this is crucial. So I'm hoping that we can get it done and get those 2 seats.
Absolutely. T. Patty, talk to me about quickly if you're near your 18th birthday by that January 5th runoff date, say you're 17 now, what's the date threshold in terms of you being able to be an eligible voter in Georgia for that runoff election?
Oh, I had that at my fingertips. Give me 1 second while Idris talks about his thoughts.
Absolutely. Idris, I'll kick it over to you, man. The Senate thing, 48-48 right now, and 4 outstanding races, if my math is correct, and it could be a 50-50 tie with our vice president-elect as the deciding vote. So your thought on the closeness in the Senate?
I tell you, when it comes to campaign, there's this, and organizing, there's this old adage that people beat dollars every single time. That actual people and votes, I don't care how much money you got, whatever, it's about the number of folks you're able to turn out and to vote, right? And so I think that's the thing you have to think about, and that's what worked so well in Georgia, which I'm excited about, right? It was Stacey Abrams out there just generating a ton of folks to kind of register and tearing down barriers to get into the polls and the voting. And that's what did it, right? Like that's what did it. And you need money. Don't get me wrong. You need money. You can kind of pour it in, but you got to have on the ground pushing people to the polls to vote. And if those Senate seats are going to be secured in this runoff election, it's going to be because of the on the ground game. You're gonna have folks pouring money into it. It's going to come because that's what it is. But whoever has the best ground game is going to win. And you know the other side is going to be trying to suppress the vote in all kind of ways they can. So like that's it. That's what you got to do.
All right. So these are the important dates for this election. So November 5th, people could begin requesting absentee ballots. The deadline for voters to register is December the 7th. So for any 17-year-olds, you can register by December 7th as long as you're going to turn 18 before the election on January the 5th. So if you're 17 now, you're going to turn 18 between now and January the 5th, then you need to go and register to vote no later than December the 7th.
Excellent. Great information. So,
Petty, that's the type of strategy you got to have. You got to figure out, like, how do we register the most amount of folks and pull down the barriers to voting to make it.
So Stacey Abrams, we mentioned her earlier in the podcast, a real life hero. Her organization is called Fair Fight. So we could also support by supporting that org. If you donate through Act Blue, your donations will be split between those three, between Warnock, Ossoff, and Fair Fight. Stacey Abrams has been doing the work for at least the past 2 years, probably predates that. So obviously she knows what she's doing, so we need to support those efforts to do what Idris said and get out the vote, get that ground game.
Absolutely. Stacey Abrams, want to say thank you, Stacey Abrams, and to all the people of Georgia who came out and voted, and all the people nationwide that voted, but particularly Georgia.
Not all the people.
Well, I understand.